So we are moving on to the Anub'arak now. I guess I can go over the skills really quick and then I'll talk to you guys. So let's go to Anub'arak. So Anub'arak is a melee warrior class. He is the hero from Warcraft. Like it says here, difficulty medium. I can agree with this. You can play him okay, just by kind of using his skills, but it takes a little while to master him. So we'll go over his talents. His Q is Impale. It's gonna deal 60 damage, stun for 1 second. It's kind of like a skill shot that a burrow that goes underground and pops people up. So you can hit their whole team with it. It's really good for an engage. He's got his W, which is a hardened carapace. This is his shield. This is about the only thing that keeps Anub'arak alive, and the reason why a lot of people don't like playing him as a main warrior, like a tank, because this little shield just gets run over, and he's already a pretty squishy bug. So, but it's pretty good. It's on an 8 seconds cooldown, and I think what's important is that it pops his passive, which is Scare Post. So it spawns a beetle on Anub'arak whenever you cast a spell. Beetles last for 10 seconds, attacking nearby enemies for 8 damage. So every time you cast the shield, you get a beetle, and you'll see when I play that I'm going to use that kind of synergy between each of his skills to push lanes with an army of beetles. His E is Burrow Charge, so you dig underground when you cast E wherever you cast it, and then when you push E again, it comes up out of the ground, and whatever's around you gets headbutted up. It's pretty good for escaping, it's pretty good for engaging. His two ultimates, Locust Swarm. It's like a big AoE around him. Sucks up a bunch of damage. It heals him a lot and it deals a lot of damage. It's really good for dealing damage and surviving. And then Web Blast, which is it wraps a target in a cocoon for 8 seconds, and the enemies wrapped in a cocoon are able to act and are untargetable. So the only way to get those out of the cocoon is for their team to kill the cocoon. So this is a really cool talent if you want to take someone out of a team fight. You can just take this heroic, web them, they're out for 8 seconds if their team doesn't break it. So now going into the build, since we're going to be focusing on the Scarab Post trait, we're going to be taking all the talents that boost the Scarabs. The level 1 is deal more damage. The level 4 is a noob spawns beetles periodically, so you'll just continuously spit beetles out. Wait, did I not ready up? So his level 4 talent is he's gonna spawn beetles out randomly. Again, this is on top of the beetles that are already coming out from your spells, so this is a really, really incredible talent. This is probably Anub'arak's best talent. His level 7 talent is Leeching Scarab, so now all your Scarabs, 50% of their damage is going to heal you. This is going to help to sustain you in lane. Level 10, I'm going to probably be taking Locust Swarm. It's being on their team, but it's very likely that I'll take this talent. At 13, we're going to be looking at taking Burning Rage, so this will synergize with Locust Swarm to just continuously deal AoE damage around us. 16, Blood for Blood. Blood for Blood, activate to steal 15% of the target's enemy's max health and movement speed by 30% for 3 seconds. So it's really good for engaging. It's good to keep you alive. You Blood for Blood their tank. I think it's just an overall one of the probably better talents in Heroes of the Storm. And then at 20, I'm going to be taking Rewind, so that I'll be able to cast all my skills twice, spawn twice as many beetles, and the cool thing with Rewind is you can use all of your abilities to engage, and then cast them again, rewind, cast the abilities again, and then use your Burrow Charge to get out. So again, level 1, I'm going to be taking the Assault Scarab talent. Make sure that everything's cool. Yeah, so Assault Scarab. So that's going to be, again, making my beetles a little bit stronger. The cool thing about Anub'arak is you can actually just look to gank. He's pretty effective roaming. He's also really good at pushing. So in this case, we've killed Sylvanas. So I'm going to cast my spells to try to summon a couple beetles to help push this lane. So that the other team's going to lose the experience from that creep wave. And then here I'm going to be here with Cattle, and we're going to try to get the little baby camp. Considering they're taking ours, we want to try to take theirs, make sure that they don't get a seed lead on us going into the game early. Level 4 is when Anub'arak actually gets, I'd say, the best talent that he has on his tree, which is just periodically spawn beetles, and he spawns those every 8 seconds. This is kind of the talent that makes Anub'arak insane, in my opinion. It allows him to solo a boss at level 4 because he can just continuously spit out beetles and use the beetles to tank the boss, which I'm going to be doing here. So every time I shield, I get a beetle, and my shield's on the same cooldown that my passive beetle is on. So I'm going to be able to spawn 2 beetles every 8 seconds, and the boss is going to focus those beetles instead of focusing me. And of course, I can always spawn more beetles if I want to cast more spells. So if I were to spike here, I cast another beetle. But I want to watch. I was actually holding on to my cooldown because if he stomps out like that, he could kill both my beetles, and then I'd need to spike to reset the whole thing. But you don't necessarily need to, because the 2 beetles will be enough to tank the whole boss. So considering I have 50 seconds to do this, I'm actually gonna go and solo these really quick, and then back to take the boss. And again, I want to make sure that my beetles are the ones that are tanking the. Make sure that the beetles are the ones that are tanking the camps. Otherwise, you know, I'll take a lot of damage, and they're gonna die anyways. So I just want to effectively use those. Yep, it looks like I'm actually going to be picking that up. And now that the Yeezys have been taken top, I got a sub, dude. Sub hype. Sick, dude. No, thank you so much, Dinker and Z. So some Big Macs in the chat. Thanks so much, Dinkers and Z. I do appreciate the sub, man. Welcome to the Vintage Barrel Boys. You will now and forever be a fine cask of whatever delicious liqueur you would like to be. Thanks so much, man. Alright, so going back to this game, I guess I was hopping in the plant, so it didn't really matter. But it is very, very important to use your beetles effectively as possible to tank as much damage from towers, creeps, everything. That's what makes them so powerful, is that the beetles will actually tank everything. They'll tank bases, bosses, camps. Everything gets tanked by the beetles. So as long as you're using your beetles to the fullest effect, that's really how Anub'arak players get ahead. Another little quick thing that I'll throw in while I'm in the plant, you can actually use your W to body block. So here I've body blocked with my W, and the other team can't actually get through the gate. Something that a lot of people don't know. It's really effective when you want to land a Q, so you can body block. Oh, I could kill that kid maybe. You can body block them with the pot and then throw your Q, so they have to run around the pot and maybe run into your Q. Or you can use it the same way I just used it there and pot up the gate, and then they have to run around it. A lot of people will run into it and get body blocked. So it looks like a fight's going to erupt here. I'm just going to go onto this Kael'thas. And then now I'm going to rotate back. Should be able to kill this Kerrigan. And with this slow, I'm going to be able to dig. Pick that up. And in this game's case, I've put myself in the plant as the warrior for the team, and the reason for that is I can effectively zone and tank the same way that I would tank as the warrior for the team, while my DPS can still use their ranged attacks to hit the other team, right? So most of the time, most teams are going to either put a melee assassin or their warrior in the plant, because both of those heroes are going to be filling the exact same role that they were filling outside the plant, but they're just going to have a little bit more health. It helps to siege when you're sieging. That way you can siege with your range carries in the back and have the plant in the front, so you can get damage on keeps. That's for like Dragonshire, this map. I guess are the only two maps with the plant, but that's the reason for it. And another thing too is like, if you have a hero like Gazlo, he's actually a good person again to put in the plant, because that way he's kind of doing the exact same thing with his ability to siege, but he can do the exact same thing inside the plant. But again, like with a team with Zagara and Anub'arak, like we didn't intentionally plan this, but if like say your friends wanted to play a comp that could push really well, Anub'arak and Zagara both summon things. So if you take, like say you take Anub and Zagara like pre-level 10 on Cursed Hollow and you go bottom lane with them, you can just continuously summon shit in front of the other team's wall, and if they're not killing it, or say they have a weak clear, you can just push all their ammunition out, because they won't be able to kill Zagara's little creeplings or my beetles quick enough. It's the same kind of idea here, like on this boss. This boss stands no chance. The towers, it happens to the towers too, they just run out of ammo. Looks like my team's going to be fighting. I'm going to try to come in here. I don't have my ultimate, so it's actually a little scary, but I do see Zeratul, and they're all pretty weak. So I had a pretty good knockup. I don't have my ultimate just yet. This fight would be 100% if I had it, but it looks like it doesn't turn out too bad. I'm actually going to hit it right now and try to soak up with these creeps. So however many targets you hit with the Anub'arak ult, you're going to heal. There's just little leeches. So in that case, I'm actually running at the enemy's creeps, because the more enemies I'm hitting, the more health I'm going to sustain. And I think if there was no creeps around, I actually would have died to the Sylvanas if it was just me versus Sylph. But I kind of effectively used my surroundings to live there. Just playing around what you have. And then now I can, again, because I'm a Anub'arak, I can do this from level 4 on until the rest of the game. You just go and solo the boss. For whatever reason, the boss 2 hits your beetles at all levels in the game. So as long as you stand behind your beetles, you'll always be able to spawn the passive one and the shield one and just burn the boss. But yeah, so my team's going to be pushing with the boss. I'm just going to pick up another boss for us here. I don't really want to use much more mana because I need to probably go mid and fight with them. Although we're already 3 levels ahead, so this game's a little bit out of the other team's hands. But we do have another plant, like I said, now. So now we'll look to push mid. 2 dead. I'm going to look to stun. And then once you've landed your wow. Once you've landed your Q, that's when you want to follow up with your E. But until that point, you normally don't want to throw your E first, because if you E in and you miss, then you have no way to escape on Anub'arak. Which, if we go back to when I was talking about his skills before, that is his weakest, point, is that he can't get out once he goes in. So if you're gonna go in, you want to usually hit your Q first. Guarantee yourself that you're gonna land the E, follow up, and then make sure that you have a team behind you that's gonna follow up. So now that I have blood for blood, I basically have the ability with my ultimate up to kill someone on their team. So we go in, we're going to clean it up with the plant, and it looks like our team's going to get the win. So that is Anub'arak. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. But as you can see, I've done the most siege damage. I'll look at the numbers here after this game. But as far as Anub'arak in this patch, he's really good. If you're thinking about picking him up, I would say go for it. Super effective, can 1v1 really well, can siege really well, can push really well, can jungle really well, deals a good amount of damage in a team fight, brings a lot of utility to a team fight. As you can see, like I said, I pulled the most siege damage this game. I did a fair amount of hero damage. Oh yeah, he's on sale right now too, if you guys are interested in it. He also has a pretty cool skin out there, which I've thought about buying, but I think I'm gonna just buy the master skin instead. But overall, really cool hero. I guess I'll go look at the skin right now. It's this one, Caterpillar. It's pretty cool, or the love bug. But that is Anub'arak.